Check, check. Welcome in, team. How are we doing this evening? Hope everybody's doing good. It'll be a small class. We'll see who rolls in, but how about you guys? But if you had today off, I would sure like to just work 4 10-hour days and have a 3-day weekend all the time. Really helps you relax a little bit on that third day. Fitness, how we doing, man? Good to see you. Let's see. So far, we only got one request. Put them in if you want to get it in right away. There it is, Qualcomm. I'll get her down. Give a couple minutes. I know I sent the first alert late, so 1 or 2 more minutes and we'll dive in, guys. It's Spine QQQ. As always, appreciate you being here. SOUN. See if I got levels on that guy tonight. I've heard of the name, but not super familiar with it. If you take a long or short for that fitness, let me know. Nice. All right, guys, might be super small class. Like I said, that's all right. We can go more in detail about your request. One last server ping, we'll dive right in. Cool. Welcome in, guys. My name is StartedWith, one of the staff members here. Glad to have you guys here. Looks like mostly all the regulars, but if you're new, we are glad to have you for sure. This is normally on Sunday nights. We just take your request, chart it out for you, try to best of my ability to find your entries and exits or where I would think I would trade it on all the names you guys really want. So, so that, you guys, Spine QQQ like usual. I want to show you a couple things on the daily, more so for SPY, a little bit on Qs, but again, daily chart here. 1, 2, 3 touches here. As of now, we closed right there on Friday. So that's really what I'm watching for this week. If we get any sideways action here, And I'm giving you guys the ability to unmute your mic. So if there's something I say on SPY or something, or you have a question, just politely stop me and ask the question. But if we start chopping around here on SPY this week or any dips on the S&P 500, I'm kind of watching to see, do we tag this for what I say, 1, 2, 3, for a fourth touch? Because that would probably also line up with the purple line. There's our daily 9 moving average, and that'd be something definitely to watch where you don't want to get too blindsided thinking stuff is looking ugly and we bounce hard here, but you dive into puts not knowing a big time frame picture here. And so kind of that 643.73 on the daily. And when I go to smaller time frame, hopefully that kind of makes sense as well for you guys. Hopefully it still lines up. I'm gonna do that right now for you to kind of show you. We're pretty much right where we were last week, which isn't a bad thing. So zoom out real quick recap. Where we at? So last Sunday, I'll zoom back to present day, but just give me 1 second here, guys. So last Sunday, we were right in here talking, in the after hours. This is Monday pre-market, and I said, kind of watch this little green zone here, the 64485 up to the 645 zone. If we can't break over it, we might leg down just a little bit, but don't get overly bearish. And so, lo and behold, not bragging, but it's just fun to come back to a recent level and look back at how we played this. So we came into Monday, a perfect textbook scenario of a breakdown. So it's our level. We're breaking down a retest, a rejection. So breakdown retests for puts and a leg down. Next day, we come into the next area of interest. We bounce it, we push up, we close back over that area of interest. And now we are breaking out over, retest, and we bounced. So again, sold under, it flipped resistance on us, they sold it down, we brought it back over, it flipped support on us, they bounced it up and over. Present day, where are we at? Same thing. See, right here, the 645 zone, same thing, you guys. So that's my focus this week. It's pretty simple. If we can't break over the zone here again, this kind of the 645, the 644, 85 to 645 pocket here, I'm treating this as resistance. Hence these wicks here on the top side, when we break under, rejections. So any opens under and a push up and a failed breakout over, I'm short on the day. Again, I'm not looking for stuff down here right away. I'm just trimming on the way down, daily 9 here on the way down, Bullish scenario, I need a break over. So as of now, we're kind of right here. If we break over, we push in the pre-market. I want to see a test of it. Or if we push and don't test it and just go, that's good too. That's very, very bullish because we're breaking over Friday's close. But any opens in here and kind of chopping here, this is kind of a scalper's no man's land for me in here on the S&P 500. But again, we break over this and we hold, we see the price action we can get. We kind of hold, we didn't get there. We see the price action bounce we can hit. We sell under, we see the selling pressure kick in, So I love ranges, you guys. I used to hate them as a new trader because I just wanted the big breakout. You're holding long positions, so be it. But as day traders, this is awesome. This is what we want to see because it makes it very obvious where to go long, where to go short, where are our targets on what to look for bounces and rejections. So any questions on SPY, the S&P 500? See a few more people rolling in. Got a decent sized class for a holiday. Glad you guys are here. So far, only like 3 or 4 requests, and put them in, guys, if you want them. All right, no questions on that. QQQ closed a little bit lower last week. So kind of the same outlook, but just a different level. So Friday, we were talking around here. We said we want to break over 5723-ish. Pushed over on Monday, again, similar scenario. Failed breakout on larger time frames, ultimately ended lower from that breakdown there. Bounced the zone of next area of interest, pushed up, legged up, and we kind of this bounce zone up to this zone here. Tech had a little bit of a tough day on Friday, but look where we're at. Right here. Very, very important zone this week. So that is my focus on QQQ this week. Is I want to see any bounces here. So I hope, just the way I trade, I don't really want to open right into here. I want to open over this, or I want to open somewhere down here. Because if we open in here, to me, this is kind of my 50, what I call like a 50-50 trade. Yeah, we can hold this zone here and push up to this, but when I see all this afternoon action here, all that volume's gonna be stacked in there. I don't like that because that can be filled with, a nice bullish 15-minute candle and then just a kill candle to the downside that stops you out. So for me, how I trade on all my trades and setups, I look for the lowest risk. So a lowest risk on calls would be opening somewhere down here because we have these nice wicks here that we know if we're taking a day trade, where we can stop out, where we're invalid. We bounce this zone here, and all we do is we look left and we start grabbing some levels on the way up, all from Friday. Again, we're not buying calls here. We're not looking for this just yet. This is a running position, a runner. You trimmed, you broke all these levels. We broke this Friday consolidation. Now you can start looking for stuff up here. Option number 2 for bulls, a break and hold or an open over 570.62-ish. But again, with caution, got those topside wicks there. So if we open over and bounce that with caution, be bullish, but note those wicks there. Any breakdown under, it's easy to be bearish because we see those kill candles to the downside underneath that. Any opens under this green zone, that is a break, I believe, of last week's range. So last week range would be 5 trading days. We got some this after hours move here, but yeah, a breakdown under here would be a break under last week's lows. That's pretty short term. That is a pretty bearish scenario if you're holding calls, especially on tech names. Any questions on QQQ? Don't see anything in the chat. Okay. Avenger, we got CMG. Chart out some names here just to save on some time because I wasn't sure how many requests for people we'd have in here. Let's look at the daily real quick, brother. Kind of show you what I'm seeing. A zoomed out compressed looked here. So focus on kind of that red area as we zoom left, kind of that focus here. So this is back May 22nd, 2023. A push up, rejection, kick down, earnings kicked it off. We legged up over that rejection zone. Bullish, long term, obviously, it dipped down. And now we're coming back into it. So that's kind of what I would focus on and kind of show you this week. A very, very tradable zone here that we're going to get into. Just some things to watch at. So for me, this is still the daily. Anywhere around that 42, 42.10, I think you mentioned as well, which is great. Good eye on that because what I'm seeing here on the daily, I always start on a daily, especially on a new name. I see a push-up wick rejection to the downside sellers. A gap over, probably on news or ER. And what do? We came down to it. Resistance, flip support, big bounce, meaning the open, sold down into here, big buy back up, closed it here. Okay, come back into it 2 days ago, bounced it, closed or not closed, but sold under it briefly. We'll see what time frame on Friday and closed over it. So a couple things I like, a couple things I don't like. I like your mindset of wanting to go long. That should be your first instinct for every trader as we are nearing this support here. Avenger, very good eye. Some things to watch for. This big 42.8 zone. So again, you catch this move down here, great. You're catching 80-cent move on the stock price. So 80% of your delta, if you look at your delta, let's just say delta, is 50. So you're getting 80% of that move is your profit on that. So it's going to pay you very, very nice on that. So mindful of that. And we have 2 moving averages stacked overhead. So you zoomed in, look, how do we trade this? How do we find our entry? Basically the same thing you're pretty much eyeing. So I love it. All bounces off 42. We got to play that bounce off 42 until it fails us. So zoomed in, look here. We want to buy our bounces because we see we're over that. We get that nice reaction. We sell through it. We see the follow through on the downside. But until we're over, as of now, we're over it. We want to play those bounces, and we might enter a little bit of consolidation phase here. But if you buy some time on your contracts, like you mentioned, you're chilling. You may not be, making a ton of money, 5, 6, 8, 10%, but as long as this holds, you shouldn't be worried. You should stick to your trade plan. Not every swing is going to pay right away. So very nice setup on this. Very, very tradable setup. Anyone that's watching this. But as of now, the big thing to watch this week is a high and a lower high and a lower high. So any opens in here, this is kind of that line in the sand. We need to bounce that to trigger this downtrend. Otherwise, it's another lower high to the downside. We're probably going to trickle down here. Hopefully that helps you. If not, unmute your mic and let me know. But if not, I'll go on to the next one. Let me zoom back up real quick. Qualcomm looking to get bullish on it. All right. Let's see. I want to stay caught up on the chat here. Finish one SOUN. Laro IWM. Good to have you in here. Maxwell Reddit. And Crash APP and Tesla. Okay, kind of cut up. I kind of just write these down so we'll get buried in the chat here. Qualcomm. Ooh, nice week last week. Let's zoom out, kind of see, kind of sort of where we topped out 2 days ago. Let's see if it kind of makes sense. Yep, it kind of does. So bullish on it, that's okay. We'll find you a bullish entry. I'll look for some things here to be mindful of for sure. Definitely seen some top range rejections here. So it doesn't mean just bail out on your bullish thesis, but just be mindful of this because when I see multiple touches like this. So going all the way back here to February this year, a sell down, just this is kind of just how I trade. I feel like it's the easiest way to trade. We break a level of support. We test it, resistance, 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 breakout, failed continuation, resistance, resistance, 1, 2, goes on forever. And 2 days last week. So it's very clear where sellers are here in this kind of 161 to 162 pocket. So you want to get the breakout. Everybody does. I get it. But it's clear as day where we're rejecting. So best case scenario is you want to really, at least how I trade, I'm not trying to buy this top here and just hoping for a breakout, failed rejection, hope for a breakout, failed rejection. Maybe it comes, you get lucky, or maybe it happens and whatever, it's not luck, you call it, that's fine. But for me, I would rather buy the dip somewhere down into here. We'll take a look at it on a smaller time frame. And then you ride it up. So when people are chasing that breakout again, you are trimming here and leaving a runner if the breakout happens.
I have like
all right, so I zoomed in look here. So definitely, is that kind of what you're looking for? Hopefully that kind of answers your question. Let me know if you have any questions on it, brother. So what I would like to do here, I might just draw it a range too, because it kind of makes sense here. But let me get some couple support lines here for you. So looking at this spot right here. Anytime we hold this, we get over that. Yeah. So anything on this 160 here, brother? I like this. Continue to buy the dip buys. I just don't like trying to get long at that 161.25 because it just rejects over and over multiple days. But like I said, what we want to do, calls are expensive up here. Calls are cheap down here. So what do? We buy what calls are cheap. So this is probably very, very light volume here. But any opens and bounces of basically 160, keep buying those dips because we just seen that last Friday alone, that wick there, that big bounce up. We seen we get back over it. I know this candle engulfed it, but a big buyback over on Thursday and a push up. And you can see when we sell under. So again, take the trades that are obvious. It's obvious to get long here at 160. If we fail 160, we see what happens when we break under it. But take your calls here, play the bounce, and you kind of trim at these levels here of consolidation. And then you leave a runner, like I said, on that larger time frame. Now, you trim, and if you got a big portfolio, you leave a runner, the breakout happens, you get really lucky today, and now you just let that ride. That everyone is chasing this breakout here that's only up 15, 20%, and you're up, let's just say 80 or 100%, whatever it is. That's what you want to watch for, man. Does that kind of help you? I think your mic was open or is open. Feel free to jump in if you want.
Can you hear me?
Yep. What's up, man?
Hey, yeah, I'm kind of going to do like a long call, and I was kind of I saw support at 157, and I was just going to kind of see how the week played out and give it some time. I was going to do a longer contract and see if it would come down to like 157 range, and then
Yeah,
hopefully get the bounce.
that's only a 2% drop. Let's check. Yeah, let's take a look at that on the daily, kind of see what you're eyeing. Oh yeah, for sure. Good eye, man. Good eye. Good charting. So kind of in this middle cluster here. So what I would call this like, upper range down here, low range, this kind of middle range zone here. So if I were to move this, let's see if I can change this really quick. So anything in between here on swings, good eye. I would longer term swings. I would definitely call this like a range zone here. Like I said, it's like a 2% range. Hang with me here 1 second. That's an even better risk reward, man. Good eye on this. If they bounce that 157, because you can see clear as day, guys. We seen the top side of this range, rejection, rejection. Look on this bottom side, all those wicks to the bottom. Definitely a good eye. I like that as well. A couple things I like here as well. So if we come into that 157, we probably broke the daily 9. Don't love that, but daily 200, this slow moving yellow line is going to do something like this as long as we don't break under it, and start carrying it down. And then the daily 200 is under as well. So you're going to have two moving averages stacked somewhere in here, which is a very, very good thing. How much time, like, are you talking on swings? A couple weeks, couple months, or what's kind of your style?
I was gonna think maybe like 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Yeah, 6, 7 weeks. Yeah, you got the right idea, man. I zoomed in, look again. Now you see that 157. Like, I don't hate that at all for sure. Don't be afraid. I don't want to ruin your plan, but I mean, if they're holding this top little range here, um, it's okay. It's not, the lowest risk reward. Like you said, that 157 is where it's money. It's a very small loss you're stopping out at. Um, we'd have to look at option Greeks. If you sell down another $2, I don't know what that's going to do percent wise to a contract, but you could, if you want to, I mean, like I said, stick to your plan, but you could nibble here a little bit. If we break this and kind of just see, keep an eye on, like, if we sell down another dollar or whatever it is, kind of what that does to the option Greeks on your contract, because you could add here if you wanted. Or like you said, if we open under it, you might as well just wait for your level, set some damn alerts, and just let for that trigger there. Because not a tricky spot, but if you take my advice, we get into long here, we sell through it. You got to decide, okay, do I have enough time on the contract? Should I just sell or hold this? So decent setup for sure. Decent setup as well. Definitely a breakout retest type of setup for me here at that 160, but I might even get an alert here just to kind of like to follow up with you guys every once in a while, if that ever does trigger, this week or something. But
Yeah, I got an alert at 157.50, and then I just saw a lot of resistance at like 163. Used to retest over and over again. So
yep,
I'm just waiting. I might not even get it in. I just kind of want to see how it plays out. So
yep, definitely a good step. Like I said, it's set some higher highs here. If it breaks down here, that's a break of a short-term structure. So, and then just follow your plan there at 157, brother. Decent setup though. Nice setup, nice request there.
hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Follow up with me in DMs if you ever have any questions, man. I love to, especially if you take a trade on that. Love a follow up on that. It's always
I
good to
sure will.
DMs from
Appreciate
you
it.
guys. Fitness wanted this, right? Yep. Looking for a swing long with a bit of time. All right. Zoomed out look here. I got a couple lines from somebody somewhere some time ago. Short-term resistance here, definitely. Where are we bouncing though? Can't ignore that. I like that little cluster there. Doesn't quite get those wicks there. Rejection there. Bounced that and held it Friday. Gotta love that. So top side here. Again, I know my charting is kind of quick just for speed of class. It's not going to be perfect, but definitely what I like to see here. Just pretend that's green for support. Yeah, Josh, well, we did SPY. I can go over SPX at the end of class, or if the requests dry up, I can definitely just jump on an SPX. But for now, I got a couple people in front of your brother, but glad to have you in here regardless. So breaking that zone there. Let me go back real quick. What was this 13 zone doing? Daily got the 20 overhead. Yeah, that thick line there, that's tricky. All right. Break and retest, get long, stay long, but mindful here, fitness and futures. Kind of this 13-12, I know it's quick charting, but it kind of makes sense to me. So I'm seeing this cluster here from, what was called 2 weeks ago, basically. We sold down through a key level, hard sell. They tried to bring it up after hours, and then that pre-market session on Thursday, and a big rejection down, kind of struggling down the lower zones, rejections, breaks over, rejections, gets back over Friday, breakout, retest. It's kind of just the play-by-play as I'm seeing it in real time here, or in front of me, that is. So now we focus on that 13 to 13-12 pocket. So any holds of this, man, right in this zone here, kind of this Friday high and Friday close. I'm just getting lazy. I don't want to draw my zones here. But any holds of that, man. So if we open over that, I'd say with caution, get long, stay long, but just know we have that 20 MA overhead. We'll see when it calculates the close from Friday. It was an up day, so it's probably going to stair step up a little bit. So if you catch the bounce here and see instant green, go to your daily if you're not on Thinkorswim. Figure out where that daily 20 is, because it's going to be a little bit pesky, somewhere around 13.2 to 13.3. If we break over that, nice. Go get that 13.44. If that fails, it's a pretty obvious spot that it failed, or why it failed here. Any breaks under Friday's close, Friday's high, I know you said you would get long. If you're long with long expiration, let's just say November, October, whatever it is, December. If you're good at hedging and you want to hedge, and you're in longs here, a partial position, we break this down, take your puts for a day trade, collect some premium on the downside, take note of it. So you're red, let's just say 40, 50 bucks a contract, we're in here, but you day traded some puts on a break of 13, you caught a 45-cent move, it's going to pay you very, very nice. Maybe you made 50 bucks on that. So net on this whole trade, this whole setup, you're only down 10 bucks. So keep an eye on something like that. Only hedge, I always tell people only hedge if you have long swings and you have time. If you're in this for a day trade on a 4 days to expiration, you cut that and then take your puts to the downside. You just cut this trade here, it's invalid, take your downside puts. But as long as that holds, not overly confident on it, but you can't deny it. If it holds a support level there, look for that 13.44 this week. Very, very, very doable. Not my favorite setup you've given me, but definitely tradable for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, follow up me in DMs too, man. If you take this, you're a pretty good trader, man. Let me know. RO IWM, man. Let's see. Looking to day trade it. All right, you like this name? I feel like you're getting pretty good at this. What did this do last week? I haven't looked at this in a while. 4-hour chart, man. Nice day, or nice week, excuse me. That was the PAL pump, right? Yeah, Friday kind of retest. A little bit of short term break of structure here, but again, not overly bearish just because we broke that down there. But let's get a couple lines going here. Let's get that big double bottom wicks there. We're gonna figure out why that bounced there. If it made sense, I'm sure it does. Top side wick here, a little bit of mid-range action. If we break that, where are we going? Let me just grab the most recent wicks here. So I'm curious right here, man. 2, 3, 4, 3, 7. See if we zoom out what that looks like. How far do we got to zoom left? Yeah, not my favorite spot. Makes sense why they're bouncing it there. That's from December a year ago. So we broke over that big zone there. But yeah, we got to hold, man. If we don't hold this zone here, man, it can get ugly, not just because of this recent kill candle here, but we can see how fast that falls there. And just zoom back slowly, kind of see what price action between here and there we have. Oh yeah, so it's been grinding, trying to fight its way up. A big pump there. So there's probably a little bit of a volume gap here. So that's probably gonna fall quick if they break that. But definitely a spot to watch. All right, zoomed in look, you're a day trader. Obviously, or maybe not obviously, don't want to be rude, buy all dips here all day long. So right now we got a little bit of volume here. We'll see where that opens up at tomorrow morning. Any trickles pre-market or any open pre-market and slam into here, you got to take your shot. Again, I say this every week. I quiz you guys. Where is the highest volume of the day? The open and the close, unless midday there's some news or something. But so there's a lot of volume. I know we closed here, but there's a lot of volume stacked here. A lot of volume stacked there. That's a big, big buyback. They sold, they sold, they sold. Late put buyers are here. They're cheering, they're cheering. They got bounced. They're smoked on 0 DTs. They don't have to do it themselves. Retrace back down. Okay, this is the real sell. Big bounce into the day, smoked again. Do not buy puts at 234.37. If that breaks, that's probably going to be a hard break with volume. So look for overall. If SPY's, let's just say SPY's kind of chopping, be cautious here. But again, take your calls. If we break under, I would kind of see what the overall market's doing. I mean, this obviously IWM small caps can have a weak day and tech can be pushing, very, very possible. But need a clear breakdown, a clear retest rejection if we want to get puts here. But it's obvious, like I said, the way I trade, the way this chart looks, it's obvious where the volume is stacked. Yeah, so thin volume here, but so there's this big volume node here. So that's where the most volume of that day was traded at, this red line on there on all these charts. The volume is here. So this is like a P-shaped profile. This is a B-shaped profile, which is on a sell day. So we got volume stacked here, but then a huge slice through that. So be watching here, because if they break a little bit of a volume, thin volume here, really, really thin here from Wednesday, but there's some volume sitting there. Got to be thinking if they break that, that's probably gonna be a hard break. But again, buy your bounces first there. Again, similar to I think my SPY comments. Hopefully, I want them to enter again, Lara. I want them to enter, or excuse me, I want the market to open somewhere down here and test this, or open over Friday's close. That's kind of my two options when I look for setups early in the day. Are we opening over under where we close, or over and under support? So if we open in the middle range here, I don't love it, because we can see the end of the day sell down, but the very end of the day a buyback. So kind of tricky if we open anywhere in between here. I want to see 235.15 basically open over that. That could be a bullish position. Get over these wicks here and then final target here, because that's a hard sell there. I don't want to be holding calls into that if we retrace that. So could be a very, very nice setup in here. The heck with it. I'm getting alert set. Hopefully I answered your question. Yep, appreciate it, man. Follow up with me in DMs if you need some help for sure. All right. Got to double check I don't miss anybody. Maxwell in here. Yep. Let's take a look at Reddit. Cool. What do you think on Reddit, brother? Swings, day trades, bullish, bearish, not sure. Just want my opinion. Let me know. Jump on the mic. Ooh. 2 stacked days there. Top range consolidation. Interesting. Cool. Waxy, I think. I'm not sure how you say his name. Waxy, I guess. Is that how you say it? I'm not trying to make fun, but I don't know. That's how it looks when I read his name. So hopefully that's how you say it. All right. Let's get a couple lines here, figure out where we're kind of stopping out at. Not stopping out, but where we're kind of stalling. And then we'll zoom out because I like doing this on names I haven't traded for a while. I trade this Reddit, what is it, 225? I think I trade the break out of 100, or I got kind of short squeeze, I think, earlier this year or something. But definitely very, very nice range here. We see the over under on this 219.62 and then this top side here. So let's just slap a thick line here. Focus on that one as we zoom out, kind of see what it's doing. Oh yeah, look at that. The beauty of charting, guys. So this is February 10th. February 10th. Break over. Sellers get trapped. They chase the move. It pushes it higher. We sell back under. Buyers are trying to get back over that zone there. Very, very obvious spot. Ooh, I love setups like this. All right, zoomed in look here. I think he's a day trader. So we'll just treat this as a day trade. So again, two different traders, two different opinions. Take that with a grain of salt. So clear and obvious, bounces down here for sure. 219.62, if you guys want to write that down or take a screenshot, you can see clearly when it fails hard. When it fails hard. When it fails hard. When we succeed, we break over, big move, over, big move. So first and foremost, you need that lower range, 219.62-ish. And then this top side, 225.62. Not exact. I like to grab where wicks, multiple wicks are failing on the top side, and closing under. So for me, definitely zoom way in here for you guys. They're probably, pretty much everyone's probably on their phone or iPad or something looking at this. So some things I like, couple of things I like here. So daily 20 moving average, daily 9 moving average underneath you, hourly 20, haven't talked about that tonight, thanks to River. All underneath us. So any break over this, again, when it fails, we've seen how hard it fails, but when the move happens over it, it's probably gonna happen quick. So for me, I don't want it to, for me, it's easier to open over pre-market, slam down into it, they bounce, they prove it can hold, versus an open under. So if this candle here holds, Maxwell, if we open under and push into it, I like that way, way less on calls because I just need a clean breakout, retest at that point to prove that it holds. So I would prefer a break over pre-market, a test into it, and a hold, but with caution, because like I said, when this fails and they sell through that, that can sell hard and fast, and you don't want to be holding calls on candles like that. Accept the loss, take your puts, because again, on the downside, it is very clear and obvious where you want to take puts when a support hold or when a support fails, excuse me. So any fail of that level, easy. Fail that level, leg it down. That wick rejection, closed it there. Close it over, but very, very nice spot. Not my favorite chart, but again, when we have 2 days of consolidation, meaning we're kind of where we closed at, again, it makes it obvious, the point of interest. So put an alert on your charts, you guys, and wait for that level. If you want to get long there. Right. Go in order, crash. He's still in here. Yep. APP puts under 61.40 for a day trade. So sold it before and been putting in sell moves. Cool. AAP. Advanced Auto Parts. I think we talked about this one or in DMs. Can't remember. 61.40. Oh yeah, top range. Can't be long there. Might get a little kind of breakout, but yeah. So we know our tops, we know our bottoms. Big consolidation, well, not big. I mean, $1.40, decent. This name can definitely pay. I don't know what options liquidity is like here for you, man. But yeah, clear as day, brother. Didn't get there Tuesday, didn't get there Wednesday. Thursday and Friday twice. It is obvious where you don't want to take a long position, start a long position. You want to get long down here or down here. You want your puts at the top, puts at resistance, calls at support, calls at support. So very, very nice level. You're going to have the hourly 20 kind of creeping up somewhere. So be mindful of that for a bounce. But yeah, for sure, short that, man. What's that in the daily? 61.40. Oh, yeah. Good eye, brother. Good eye. Definitely don't want to be late bullish up here. Rejection, 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 failed breakout, rejection, rejection, knife through it. What the hell was that? Big gap up, completely just engulfed like 4 days of trading. Wow. Interesting. Had to have been news, I'm sure. Yeah, very, very nice setup, man. It's kind of closing on an indecision candle, which makes sense because they're buying dips and they're shorting the rips. So it closed on indecision. So definitely day tradable, not a swing spot because of all these candles. You know, they're buying dips and they're shorting the tops. Nice setup, man. Definitely. Hopefully that can pay you. Angel, Tesla, you're bearish. Tesla. I'm not gonna lie. Don't tell River. I thought we are gonna get that push to 357, so we could talk about this week. We did not get there. Broke that 350 to the downside, and that's all she wrote. I really thought we were gonna push. I was hoping for you guys. I didn't want people to chase at 357, but the people that are in, you know, down to 340s, 350s, I wanted that 357 for you guys. Bearish, cool. Angel, you looking day trader, swing trader? What you got here, man? Feel free to open your mic if you would like, or if you're shy, just put it in the chat. I'll wait for you. A couple things we get here. I'm gonna get probably 1 or 2 more levels in here because it's not just 337 straight to 331, even though it looks like that from Friday, but some things to watch here. Definitely got some wicks there. Sure. Let's see. What bounces are we shorting? This one for sure. What dips are we buying down here? So guys, we're on the daily here for Tesla. 335. This thick line here. Let me just give another color so it's easy for you guys to see. So break down and close convincingly under that green zone there. I grabbed that zone there because we got that bottom wick there from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Monday. Big bounce, close there, closed over it there. That rejection to the top side there, then all these rejection candles here. So he zoomed in. Look, let's go to 30 probably on Tesla. So you want to be, I mean, this person didn't say they would be bull, but just bullish case. You want to be bullish, you guys? Green line. All that matters to me for a Tesla day trade. Break over pre-market, test that, get long, stay long. I do not like puts for a day trade unless I'm getting these bigger zones here. If you're shorting an uptrend, it's got to make sense, especially on a name like Tesla, because it can smoke you really, really bad if it goes against you. So this is the spot to watch this week, 335. Okay, when 335 bounces, what do we get? Continuation up. When 335 fails, we get really silly. So any sales under, get your puts. Again, don't look for this. Don't look at this, the daily 200 lingering. Man, when this daily 200, if they pin that down here at 329, that's a spot you get long. That's a spot you take long dated swings from a technical standpoint. The markets could look ugly, but from a technical standpoint, so if anyone quotes me on that, that's the spot when you want to see a big moving average, like a 200-day line up with a big support there. But again, we gotta get some more down days for it to tick and push this 200-day moving average down. But again, 335 breaks, easy. What do? Grab those wicks because they're probably gonna bounce on the bottom side, so meaning we sell to it. It's not gonna be a straight line here, but trim. Friday's close. Target 2, down here. Target 3. Now you got a runner. Now you can look for Friday's low. You don't take puts here and hold a full position, look for Friday's low. and they get to target one, you don't trim like a dummy, and oh, they bounced it. Now you're red on a full position. You don't want to do that. So look left, easy price action for us here on this name. Decent setup as well. All right. Josh, you still in here? We'll jump on SPX because it's a request. That's what you want. And then requests are drying up just a little bit. I see crashing here again for requests. Before I lose my train of thought, I want to go over AMD. Let me look really quick. Apple, AMD. Another one is consolidating, I think. Microsoft or Nvidia, but yeah, I'll keep up with your guys' watch list or your requests. But I think AMD is a big one. I really want to go over that one as well. So let me see here. Let's see. Yep, Josh, you're still in here. Cool. Yep. Where did it bounce? Why did it bounce? Does it make sense? Damn near perfect bounce on SPX, the daily 9 moving average. Did it do that on SPY? Pretty close, a little bit farther off, but pretty close for the same thing. So kind of the same thing. I just went over SPY earlier, Joshua, sorry. But kind of this level here, I'm gonna do it kind of quick, but it still makes sense on SPY, what we talked about. So if you're here in lecture last week, this would have been Friday, and here's Monday from last week. That was the focus, and we pretty much closed there. We're pretty much, as of now, stumbling over my words, sorry. We're going to open the same spot basically as Friday. So this is Friday's close. Here's Monday. We tried to break over and reclaim a support. We sold down. So that is the spot for me, brother. What I'm watching on this is clear as day. 64, 60.38. I know it's quick charting, but we're seeing where those candle body are closing. One could argue just grab the top side of the wicks for a safer entry, which would be six, 4, 6, 3, 11, basically. So back to drawing here. Get long, stay long on anything over this zone. But you're not looking for this right away. Like I said, every ticker on your way up, you're just looking last week's price action. Find where we're bouncing, rejecting. We're rejecting here. Do you think it should be trimming here? Absolutely. Rejected here on Wednesday. A little bit of rejection there Friday before the breakout. You think you should trim here? Absolutely. Could be a target too. So any holds over this level, man, stay long for a day trade, stay long for swings, but with caution. Anything under, I'm bearish. I'm not looking down here. I'm bearish in the daily 9. This cluster here from last week, we break that. Then we can start looking at stuff down here. But yeah, consolidation phase, range phase on the ETS, which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing for sure. All right. Make sure I got everybody at least once. Let me get target real quick, you guys, and then I'll jump back to, just want to make sure everybody gets in here. I think that's Celsius, and then, yep, KO, Avenger. You heard it here first, no T. I want KO for some swings so badly. Not in them yet, but I want them. Need to get these wrote down so I don't forget.
KO looks like it's setting up a really nice range.
Yeah. Let me get target real quick. We'll jump on those for you, brother. Perito. Sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Not intentional. Target. Haven't traded this in a while. We need to zoom out and see where the heck we're at here. Oops. Daily. Are you looking day trades or swings on this? Are you in or want to be in? Let me know so I can kind of, hey, if you're in profit, I would trim here. If you're looking for an entry, swing long term. Cool. Long term bullish, I would assume. I shouldn't assume, but maybe, hopefully. Cool. Definitely quick charting, but this is the spot you want to try and get long for sure, because about $1 away is where it gets ugly underneath that. So decent setup here, decent setup. So upper range, again, quick charting. I know there's levels in between here, but just for speed of class, just for education here. So upper range, red, lower range, green. When it gets under that, we can see how it legs down pretty bad. We get over the red zone, we can see how continuation up. Kind of this middle zone here, the whole range is about $4, $3.50, whatever it is. And so first and foremost, I like this zone here, 95.63. Not just because you want to be bullish, but it does make sense because I can see a lot of candle closes where they're closing or opening, closing and opening or rejecting right into here. Very nice zone here. So what I would do for long swings, because you're only catching about $1.50 move against you. So depends how long we're talking on swings here, but first and foremost, I would be buying that dip here. I'm just trying to get my zoom set up here, or zoom settings. So didn't quite get there. Bounced it where it should, where it makes sense. So we're kind of just slowly legging down. Oh, they bounced up. We're talking about it. They heard it. Oh, they heard us. Any trickles into here, first and foremost, look to buy the dip. Always zoom out long term. I don't know how good you are at charting, but it can be a hard mindset for new traders to say, oh, we're going down, we're going down. Why are we buying calls? You're buying calls at a big support, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. So any dip into here is a blessing because that's your lowest risk, highest reward to the upside to get long on. If we're kind of like a upper middle range here, something kind of over this here. So we can see a sell down, a hold of the previous day's support here, which was Wednesday. Thursday could not hold that. We legged down just a little bit. Friday, we bounced back over it. So for me, two scenarios to get long on. If we believe this move here, if we push over and retest this at 97.16, your risk is increased a little bit because there's a big support below, and we're talking long swings, not a day trade here. But if this holds here, get long and look for this upper range here and a daily 9 moving average stacked overhead. So again, not just telling you this, I'm telling anybody this. This is going to pay you nice, but let's just say it's 20%. 20% is not good enough for you. The chart says you sell here, so you definitely sell here at that level there. But if you can bottom tick a breakout retest of this and catch a $1.50 move, math right, $1.30 move, that's going to pay you very, very nice. But don't bottom tick, see instant green. You don't trim here, you don't trim here, and you're holding a full position, and we retrace, and now you're back to break even, and now you're red. Just don't do that. So if you bottom tick that, trim on the way up, hold a runner, see if we get that breakout, or just sell there and pat yourself on the back. Any opens, if we just, I don't like an open just kind of in the middle of both zones here, because for me, I got to lean a little bit bearish for a day trade. Try and get this bottom zone there, get out of your puts, flip to calls, and buy the call bounce there. If that fails, it's an easy cut. You're not holding for a huge loss. If you're starting small, swings are long, maybe hold for that. But again, it just depends on your risk management, how heavy you went in, how long expiration you got on that. So kind of quick charting for you, sorry, but definitely a tradable setup. But right now it's lower highs are being set in, and so they're attempting it here. So we need a little bit of a structure breakdown here to get that move for sure. Celsius and KO. I think it's Celsius. Yep, you're welcome. Feel free to send. Let's see. I recognize the name. I think we're talking DMs. Yeah, send me a DM if you ever need some help. Just right. CE. Drawing a blank here. CEHL. Yeah, I was right. Wait. CELH. Celsius, right? I think Crash. CELH. It's got to be Celsius, right? Damn it. Ooh, a little bit of Friday action. What's going on there? Mm-mm-mm. Crash, you can unmute if you want. I'm not sure if it's blocking you. See your hands up. Oh, big deal with Pepsi. Interesting. Interesting. Let's zoom out here. Sorry, my Zoom chat's like lagging really bad. So we broke over here. Something was important. It is now support. It is now green. Extend it just a bit. All right. Ooh. All right. Let's focus over here first. Let's see what we're doing over here. Old levels here. Oh man, don't beat yourself up. We all miss trades, brother. I think you say you, let me read your comments again. Sorry. Moves Friday, looking for down to 6164 entry. 6125 stops below 6070. All right, yeah. A break and hold over this green zone for sure. Let me get some levels in here. Grab these wicks. Man, not a lot in between here because when it moves fast. That's not a bad thing. It's a bad thing for not in. Very, very nice moves into here. Like stuff moves quick off this level. It doesn't spend much time. When we break this, big breakouts, big breakdowns, big breakdowns, big breakdowns, big breakouts. Breakdown under, fighting, crawling its way back, and now we are here. Damn. 63. I know I got your level here. Let me just. Yeah, 63.57. That's big. All right. Zoomed in. Look, how are we gonna do this? Yeah, your ideal entry, man, for sure. Down here. I mean, yeah, if we can get a retest into here, like that's beautiful. Or anything into here, especially with time, get long, stay long for sure. We break this, we see what happens when we consolidate, 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 all breakdown, continuation move the downside. So, but now this should be treated, yeah, 60, basically 62 is support. If the train leaves the station, brother, with caution here, because there's a lot of volume price stacked, you remember at the open, and this is probably news related. So above the volume point control there. Actually, brother, there's not a lot of volume here recently. Recent price action volume. So price will move fast. So this is our consolidation zone where the most volume is traded again, you guys, for new traders. That is this POC. So chop range, no zone for me, but definitely not puts until we get a clear break under. But a breakout over, that can move very, very fast, man, because we're breaking over, you know, I guess Friday's open was here. So, and we're over, Friday's open and close are pretty much matched. So we're breaking over all this big volume cluster here. You might get a big move out of this, man. If we open over this and they test this and hold that, that could be that entry, man. In the words of Nando, that could be your golden entry. I know that's not the term he uses for this, but that could be the entry right there, man. Because that thing could fly. If they wick this down and buy that back up, that could move quickly there, especially at the open. Lots of volatility for sure. I know you kind of want another dip into here, but if this is the hype train is moving, man, this might be the train to get on for sure. You'd have your hourly 20 underneath you. You'd have a support underneath you, a reason to get long for sure. That 65.18 could come quick in a day, man. Nice setup. I might get another set for that too, for sure. Oh, not chasing. All right, cool. No worries, brother. Hopefully that helps, man. Yeah, follow up, man, if you do catch a day trade on that. KO, my baby, my #1 setup for swings for small port, slower movers. Look at this setup, you guys. Let me get this volume off here. It's only beautiful if it works. Look at this consolidation, attempted breakout. This is like, I love this for swings. So we sell down into support here. Where'd my drawings go? Big, let me just zoom out real quick to show you what the hell I'm looking at and why I'm trying to be convinced on this move to get long here. Right here. Look at, oops, sorry, grabbed the wrong thing. At 68.84, basically 70 flat. The zone right into here. When we bounce and hold this, look at those continuation moves to the upside. I think I caught this one on a swing here or somewhere down here. I don't know. Sold way too early, but I love this. I love this setup. Not going to toot my own horn until we're in. We're making money because a failure could happen, but a close consolidation look here. I'm on the 1 hour chart now. So again, we sell into support here. They buy it back. Late puts are wrecked. Puts made some money. Try to get back up. Try to get back up. Failure. We closed over it. So resistance is now support, until it's not. So I want to go long on this, you guys. I'm not in yet, but a 69, 70, and 71 call. Give me 1 second here. This is my notes on my tab from the other day. September 12th, 70 call, $48 off this level. So I posted this somewhere around here. So again, I'm not in, but I love this setup for swings. It's my favorite on the watch list right now. September 12th call, it's only $48. You can buy another week for only $11 more, or you can buy another month out for basically doubling that, $117. So very nice setup potential, because it's clear and obvious where if we're buying long dated swings, maybe those Novembers, it's clear and obvious where we take our shot, even for day trades. If we're going to day trade this, I know Vinger, you mentioned as well, day trades, we buy this dip here. We can hold for 15 cents down as long as we have time, a 4-day till expiration. So this Friday expiration, I'm probably going to keep on a tight leash. If I buy this dip here, we sell through it. I don't know if I'll hold for this, even if it's only like a 12% loss. Maybe not, because it's only like a 14-cent move down the stock chart. But it's clear and obvious when we break this, what happens when we break underneath it. Break under, get the point. We hold this. That's what we want for swings and for day trades, at least how I trade. Nando, Luigi, River might trade different, but this is what I'm looking at here, you guys. I know it's a very long-winded explanation, but that's what we want. We want a breakout retest because we are trying to buy the bottom of this support, what we think is a big support. We've proved it on a multi-time frame level. Catch that move, catch a multi-day move. We start looking at all these ranges up here, daily 9 as well. So possibly look for some activity for me. I don't want to force, like I said, especially when alert to the whole server, whether 1 or 10 people take it, I don't know, but that's what I'm watching for sure on this setup. I really like this setup. Let's see here. Yeah, Avenger, very nice setup here. Any AMD lovers here? I know some people are kind of trickling out. That's fine. We're running a little bit long. Actually, we're on time. I started late. AMD, you guys, super nice range setup. Super nice range here. Yeah. Yep. buy the dip if the market is choppy or bullish, take your shot. I mean, you want to take your shot regardless, but what I was trying to get at is if markets are super weak tomorrow, like we have a really bad tech day, take your shot here on calls, but don't hold for a deep loss. Just be pretty quick to cut it, because when we sell through this, selling pressure is going to kick in. But for me, bounce, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 5 attempts, whatever it is. Bears are not getting any progress to the downside. Bears are getting progress up here when you try and get long at the top, and they smack it down day after day. This is textbook, you guys. If you don't know what range trading is, this is it. Top range, bottom range. You buy your calls here at support, you buy your puts at resistance at the top. That's a really shitty R, at resistance. So what to point this out to you guys, I know a lot of people day trade and swing AMD. You want to know where to get long, this is it. This is where you try, because your risk is low. You're not going to get into a Friday expiration and hold down here. No, we break support, you find your percent, or these levels here that make sense to you. We bounce this. This is just a beautiful, beautiful setup here. Trim, price targets galore all the way up the top side of these wicks, the bottom side of these wicks, these support levels, the moving averages. AMD is very, very nice.
You'd recommend the weekly expirations on those 1K?
It's all risk management, brother. I mean, yeah, it's, if you're a day trader, you take it at support, but as far as a percent stop loss, we'd have to kind of look together on the contract. What I would probably do is something like this. So I'm grabbing this candle body close here from August 20th. So this they closed it here, or excuse me, they opened and they legged down hard and then engulfed on the way up. They didn't quite get there last week, and we're kind of seeing bounces as we enter that. So for a day trading thing short term, this would something be like this. So this is a perfect kind of risk to reward profile. Your risk here is in the red, meaning you got to take your calls here, and you cannot expect instant green on any type of trade. So, if this is like a 12%, 15% red, this is a very, very reasonable stop underneath here. And this is your potential reward in the green. So you bottom tick here. What do we do on the bottom? On the upside, on the way up, bottom side wicks, Friday's close, this kind of cluster in here, set some alerts in here. And for a day trade, final target for me would probably be on the top side of these zones here. Because when we failed, we got this real quick, and as more and more zoomed in look here, we can see when we failed this level here, what do we do? Selling pressure kicked in, and it failed to break out over the rest of the day. So trim, final target here. If you want to be a swing trader, just expand those targets a little bit, but don't be super, super greedy. If you're buying November contracts, let's just say we bottom tick calls here, instant green, fine. Sell into this little cluster here on swings, even though November. Sell into here. Breakout over, let's just say we close over on the day, trickle over after hours. Again, hypothetically, we bounce it, we leg up, move in, we bounce it, leg up. I know it's never that easy on the chart, but leave those stops a little bit loose and just play the chart. We break over this. This is your new stop out for swings. So break and close over it. Again, that's your close for swings. But and I could be wrong. We might consolidate in here for like 2, 3, 4 days, or maybe a day, or maybe 10 minutes. I don't know. But on a range like this is where you got to get long for sure. Let me scan big tech. I think there's a couple names. Apple's a little bit the opposite, you guys. People trying to get long on Apple up here. Big thick red line, you know how that rolls on my lectures. Heavy resistance here. So Apple is kind of the flip side, where we're at the top of the range. AMD is the bottom of the range. Apple is very, very day tradable, but you don't want to be taking a day trade here. You don't want to be starting a swing call here at all. You want to buy dips into here. You want to trim. And when people are chasing up to here, you trim up to here, you get the breakout, that's fine. You're up 85%. They're up 10% because they're chasing. So Apple, buy that dip on 231.65 until that fails. If this fails tomorrow or this week, what happens when that fails? gets a little bit ugly for people holding calls. Trickle down this 230. Next big spot to try your call bounce. So definitely a tradable setup. I think there's one where I really, really loved. Let me look here. Meta. Did Tesla. Maybe I don't love it. Was it Microsoft or Meta? Meta's pretty nice. Same thing as AMD, you guys. Pretty pricey contracts, but again, day traders and swing traders, you know where you don't want to chase puts. You can get puts here at the open, take them down into here, but don't hold or start a position there at that 73432. Very, very nice range here. We can see rejection, bounces, 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 rejections, bounces, rejections. Next level to watch. So again, bounces, these little cups here, bounces, bounces. We get under this, that's probably gonna be a hard sell. A lot of volume getting stacked down here. Volume, volume, volume. They sell through that for sure. That's probably gonna be a hard sell down. Cool. We'll run a little bit late. Quick recap on SPY, you guys. If you got to get out of here, that's fine. Appreciate you being here. Most of you stuck around. Super, super good request, you guys. I'm not just saying that. Very, very nice setup I'm seeing from all you guys. So the charting is helping. You guys are doing a lot of requests, a lot of things that you're eyeing. I love that for sure. But if you guys got to head out, totally cool. Here's a quick recap. SPX would be about the same thing. Different numbers, obviously, but any hold of this green zone, especially a breakout and hold over it, even better. Gotta love that. So if we start chopping in between here, no zone. This is a river scalp zone only. No go for me. Breakout and retest, or clear this real quick. Break over and retest this and hold with caution again, because this is a scalp zone, but even better, a break and hold of 645. Get long, stay long, because why? We're breaking over this Friday cluster right here. And this move, I know there's some stuff in between here, but this move could be a very, very nice up day. We got a kill count on the downside, how quick that was. Guess what? We can do that to the upside as well. Not saying we get here in 1 day or 3 or 4 or 5 days. Maybe we chop, I don't know. But if we hold this, I'm looking for overall market bullish positions for a day trade. We break under, you guys. What happens when we break under? Selling pressure. Failed breakout from 2 Mondays ago. Selling pressure, leg down. Okay, I'll be bearish on that for a day trade. Again, not looking way down here for first targets. Looking just basically for this or this for the day. We get under that, that's fine. Easy, easy targets down there. Leave a runner. You're getting paid if you snipe a put entry here and you get down to these targets. Very, very nice. But that's the level to watch. We played this the same thing Monday last week. We opened under, but they tried to break over, failed breakout over. That's the spot to watch. Why do I label it as clear selling pressure? I don't know, man. I don't mean that rude way, sorry. I just look for where market moves. So when I see a market breakdown retest, so this was support, a breakdown retest, and we fail support, I go, I should draw this line or draw this zone. We push over and we start seeing wicks to the bottom side. What is that? Sorry, get a phone call. This was resistance, or excuse me, support, resistance. They failed break over, is now support on the bottom side. I want to get long here. They bounced this candle. It means buyers are stepping in there with volume, with buying momentum, so I get long. I zoom, and same thing on this. This is the level here. So here, we'll just use this drawing. We break down under. What happens when we break under? Let me clear this, sorry. We break down under that support I had. Breakdown, retest, my bread and butter trading. Topside wicks there. Failed breakouts. What am I on? I'm not on the hourly chart here. We can probably zoom in, same thing. Let's go to the 5 minute. We break under. I know it's kind of salmon colored, pretend that's red. We break under support, I color it red. Red is resistance for me. I try and make my charting easy. Breakout's happening. No, it's not. 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 Like when you start seeing 1, 2 times and we're halfway through the day and we get back here, you better be in puts. This is the market making it easy for us. You guys, tight ranges suck. Like a range like something like this, that sucks. But clear bottoms, you guys, and clear tops, you long, you short at the top. We see rejection, rejection. We get the third time, you take your puts. With caution, obviously it's in hindsight, you take your calls. Selling pressure kicks in. That's all I mean by that, brother, is where does selling pressure kick in? Where does selling, just literally selling volume kick in, or weak ass buyers, where are they pushing it and buyers are just kind of giving up, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, damn, obviously in hindsight, should have paid attention to this on Friday. I was super busy, but clear as day. So we get back to it. Smiley face. We get back to it. Same thing. If we break under this, either pre-market or when markets are open, what do? We treat this as selling pressure until we get back over it. We get back over it, we are playing the bounces on it. Hopefully that makes sense. But I start in the 1 hour, the 4 hour, whatever it is, whatever makes sense to me. And I find clear and obvious just pivot points in the market where we sell down and we're bouncing, we push up or rejecting. I just find those levels in the market because that is the best risk reward to me. Any questions? Hopefully that kind of clears it up. No, you're fine, man. That's totally not a newbie question. Hopefully I wasn't rude about that. I try and make my charting as easy as possible. What I do, if you ever want to talk in DMs and practice on a setup, you would just, I'll run long just for some education because I love you guys. What do I do here? Let me think here. Not drawing. Hold on. Drawing set, new drawing set, I believe, new drawing set. Man, I'm drawing a blank here. Hold on 1 second. Great drawing set tonight. Cool. If this was my first time ever trading, a name you've seen that we go over in charts, I literally just do this. Like I said, markets are kind of pushing. Where are they kind of stopping out at? Markets are pushing. Where are they kind of stopping out at? You might want to line somewhere in here. When markets are getting over it, where are they kind of bouncing at? Where are they kind of bouncing at? You might want to get a line there. We sell through it. Remember we just talked about that? You might want to get a line there because we're rejecting. That's literally how I start my trading. So again, sorry, hopefully it wasn't like a rude comment. Very, very good question. Slap a line there, 1 line chart. Super, super important for me tomorrow if we get up to that level there. Another line, like I said, where we're going to open. So again, we consolidate, we hold, just like I just mentioned. We break under support, we're retesting, we're failing to break out. That's where you find people see an up candle, they want to take this breakout and they're instant red and they're deep red. You play when we break over and retest for your calls. Bouncing, bouncing. So this level here, again, we sold through it, totally engulfed on this candle here, totally engulfed it. Tons of volume there. And like I said, when we went to that 5-minute candle, they tried to break over it all afternoon and support turned into brick wall resistance. So as of now, we're over it. We play that bounce. But again, caution in this zone here, you guys, especially day traders, scalpers. 1 news candle or 1 kill candle in your calls, you're going to get wrecked. But any sell there, we see how that selling pressure kicks in. Send me a DM if you need some more help, or anybody for that matter, you guys. Say, hey, I'm looking at this setup here. I need help with charting. I'm not just going to send you a chart right away with all these levels on it and do all the work for you. It's not because I'm mean, it's because it doesn't do anything for you. I want you to chart a little bit. I'm gonna say, hey, this looks good here, or this doesn't look good here. Maybe you want to move this line here. Does that make sense? So when you guys start charting on your own, and then step 2 is taking trades on your own, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a kick-ass feeling, you guys, when you guys can finally trade on your own. Like, it's a community we have in here to learn, which is great, but you guys are just coming in here for alerts year after year, month after month, whatever it is. That's fine. Make some money. Maybe you just want some extra income. But if you want to truly be successful on your own, you got to start with charting. And people they skip that step. Charting is here. Success is here. You skip this step. You just take an entry and you expect to be successful. There's steps to success in anything, you guys. You cannot skip those steps. This is the money here. This is the work in between. You cannot skip steps. So you chart out, you paper trade, you take some trades on your own, you make a little bit of money. You get to here, now you're successful. That's the portfolio getting up. What do you have to see to decide to stay out for a possible breakthrough? Good question again. Early in the day, I really want to see proven candles. Like, I'm not just for me, I'm not going to take an opening 5-minute candle trade here. I'm not going to play that bounce because volatility is just too much for me in the morning. I always tell people markets are open, what, 5.5, 6 hours a day. Why do we need to trade the opening 5-minute candle and have this slice through? It's Monday morning, you're 6 minutes after the open and you're already right on a trade. You're right on your portfolio. That sucks. That sucks for your mentality. At least it does for me. So I let the market work a little bit on Mondays best I can, at least for 30 minutes. Always be winning. Good question. I want to see 15-minute, 30-minute candle closes here. And I take a look at those wicks. Is it indecision candles or is it big wicks on the bottom, indicating possible buybacks, possible big support hold, for sure. QQQ quickly, then I got to wrap. I got to get some dinner, guys. You guys can jet out if you want. This is for Errol here in the comments. Similar thesis, Errol to SPY. Let me zoom out just a little bit. SPY closed, or excuse me, QQQ closed lower. So last week we're focusing on here. This zone was green for the time being because we're over it. We failed it, we bounced it. So 570.62, kind of a little bit of a range here, Errol, but because I'm looking to get long here, but I don't want to get long till we clear these wicks from Friday. Because to me, selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure. I don't want to tell people get long here and they just hold. They see some good profit on a scalp here and they don't sell, and boom, they slice through it. Now they're deep red. So for more inexperienced traders, I really want to see us clear basically 571. So this is kind of a scalp no zone in here, and a clear over 571 arrows. So as long as we clear over that, so again, why do I find my place to be bullish or bearish? We break over this. What are we moving past, guys? We're moving past this entire afternoon low zone. So remember, resistance on SPY is now support. We're clearing this. That's what we want to see. Any breaks under 5762, I'm bearish for a day trade for sure. Great question though. All right, you guys, got to end this chat. I appreciate y'all sticking around. I see a bunch of regulars in here for sure. A couple new faces. Fitness Juan, Laurel, Perito, Ryan, SH, Crash, Bradford, Avenger, always be winning. Chahuna, probably saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Jabinga, Sam. Appreciate you guys being here, man. DMs are always open, you guys. Let's have a great week. It's a short week. Contracts are going to move fast, short dated. So trade with caution. Check the market news tab. There's a lot coming up this week, but appreciate you guys. Great request tonight. Have a great night.